Buttigiegs' high college debt draws attention to the issue. Providence, R.I.U. Democratic, with loans totaling more than $130,000, they are among the 43 million people in the United States who owe federal student loan debt. The debtors are so numerous and the total debt so high more than $1.447 trillion, according to federal statistics that several of the Democratic candidates have made major policy proposals to address the crisis. Their ideas include, student loan debt is often discussed as an issue that mostly affects millennials, but it cuts across age groups. Federal statistics. One of the most detailed plans to help solve the problem has come from Sr. Elizabeth Warren of Sr. Bernie Sanders of former Republic. Beto O'Rourke of, he also has said he wants to give Americans 2 years of free tuition at community colleges, make 4-year state universities debt-free for those with low and modest incomes, and allow borrowers to refinance student loans at lower interest rates. Julian Castro, housing secretary in the Obama administration, says he wants to eliminate tuition at public colleges and universities. He has issued the Sr. Kamala Harris of, if elected, Buttigieg, the 37-year-old mayor of South Bend, Indiana, would likely be the first president with student loan debt. Barack and Michelle of Buttigieg often speaks about the experience that he and his husband have had with student loan debt. Buttigieg graduate. In his financial disclosure filed with the Office of Government Ethics in mid-May, Buttigieg reported that he and his husband have between $110,000 and $265,000 in student loan debt. The report requires Americans with student loans owe on average $33,000, so the Buttigieg's debt is on the high end. They are among the two. Meter did not answer questions about whether the loans belong to Buttigieg or his husband, or both. The disclosure statement shows that the couple has 20 loans outstanding, with interest rates ranging from 3.4% to 6.8%, on loans that were opened between 2009 and 2017. 15 of those. Buttigieg has spoken about making it easier to refinance student loan debt. During a town hall, Buttigieg has also called for more support for students who enter public service, such as teaching. 7 2020 presidential contenders have in the Senate to do that. The bill would simplify. Former Vice President Joe Biden made a call for a similar simplification and expansion Tuesday in a speech in Houston before one of the nation's largest teachers' unions. Associated Press writers Colin Binkley in Boston and Will Wiesert in Washington contributed to this report.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.